Hello everyone, I'm Havoc and this is Factorio Space Exploration Plus, and we are yet again back up here at our core mining drill section, taking a look at how things are working. I mean, it's flowing really well. These barely run right now, and these run non-stop, so we are flowing like we need to. So these last two core drills, they'll run every now and then for a second, and then this runs constantly, and that means that we're constantly printing resources, and the only thing it costs us is power, and power's not a problem for me. I'm doing well. I still have our very large nuclear reactor down here. It's not even running right now because I've got so much steam in reserve. We're looking good. And I mean, honestly, I can build as many of these nuclear facilities as I want with my setup over here. I can power the world, the galaxy, many, many planets with lots and lots of large nuclear facilities. So power's not an issue. And since power's not an issue, we can print resources like crazy. So that's what we're doing. And I have everything set up and running so far. Each of the resources go where they need to go. They're processed. So we have the vulcanite blocks going out, not the vulcanite ore, and we're getting plastic and sulfur crystals there from our oil-based products and our coal processing. Now, you do still need coal for a few things, so for that, what we will do is we'll simply tap a coal node somewhere in the world. It's not infinite like this is, but also this is slow. This is a trickle. I mean, if you watch it, you'll see it's just a little bit at a time. It's not a lot. It's a lot in the sense that if you look at all of belts running at once, you could probably fill up, honestly, probably a full blue belt, maybe a little bit more, if you were to combine all of these into one belt worth of resources being printed a second. But when you spread them out, it looks a lot thinner, and that's fine. We are slowly building up each of these different resources. The only issue we have at this point is that I am not currently consuming anything from here. We're not using any of this, so we're going to need to set up trains that load and take these resources to wherever they need to go. Like the iron will come down here and offload somewhere. I'm most likely going to go ahead and have it offload here at the main leg, because when I start consuming iron, it will consume it from there, and we haven't set up the other one yet. But what I'm looking at here is I want to get more research in the form of, I already know how to do the energy research. I want to get things such as the better thruster suit, better robo ports, more worker robot cargo size, just make advancements in research that will help everything flow a little bit better, a little bit easier. And each of those things right now all kind of look like they're going to use material science packs. So I need to start thinking about how we're going to produce material science packs. And that might be the next goal, but also I want to get to having some better power. So for the better power, it takes Energy Science Packs 2, which I'm not making yet, and I haven't even researched yet. Let's see what they take. Holmium cable can be made out of the holmium. Energy Catalog, Energy Insight, and 2 of the Energy Science Packs 1 significant data. I could do that pretty easy. That's not going to be a really big hamper on anything. So that's not out of the picture. Yeah, and that's actually kind of what I'm working towards here with my current research. We can just add that in, which I haven't actually looked to see what is holding up the research in orbit. What happened to stop everything? So we are missing this. And why are we missing this? Oh, Okay, so I'm not emptying that. I need to have that force emptied, the enriched uranium, out of that chest. So that needs to be an active provider chest. But really, I need to overhaul this whole system. This is slow. This is painfully slow. I mean, it takes forever to build the research packs. I need to revamp this. And in order to do that, I need to start bringing more resources up into space. So this is a perfect time to look at the printed resources that we're using, right? What are we doing with them? Where are they going? And where do we need them? I know I need sulfur in space. I use sulfur in order to make the thermofluid, which is slowly but surely degrading as it goes through the cycle. Plastic, don't know right off the top of my head, but I'm fairly certain we're using it for something, some kind of recipe. But it may be an ingredient we use here on the surface first to make a intermediate product that we send into space. We'll have to look at that. However, I need to get more items into space. I need to automate the delivery of more resources. And before I can do that, I'm going to need more landing pads, and I don't remember if I opened up the buffer chest to build more or if I still have it just making one. Because if it's still just making one, we're going to not have enough. Let's see. Yeah, well, I just got 10, but let's go ahead and say, hey, make a full chest worth. And I'm going to need some more rockets, rocket silos. You know what, just build. Don't worry about it. It's good. I've got resources. I can be a little wasteful. It's not going to be wasteful. I'm going to make use of those landing pads and cargo rocket silos. But another thing that I need to look at is production of this right here. Not the combined sections. I'm looking for the regular cargo rocket sections. I need to take a look back at our build that we did down here for getting the supplies for this. So number one, I'm looking at it. We built this back when we were still using the blue assembling machines. So simple and easy fix is to upgrade those. And I'll just have the bots do it, the base robots. I can just use my upgrade planner. That's super easy. And then we can take a look. I don't even have beacons in this. I'm not sure what was going on there. And why aren't you producing anything? You need tanks. Oh, the whole line needs storage tanks. Right? Did I miss something when I was doing this? No, here's the storage tanks. They come down. Aha! You see that? There's pipe on both sides of the line. Here there's storage tank. There's pipes on both sides of the line. So we've got to pick that up until it's nothing but storage tanks. There we go. So at some point in time we just had an issue where I must have accidentally allowed pipe to go on both sides of the line down through there. Now let's see. Another question is, I don't remember if I don't know if this can actually be fed constantly and produce constantly. We'll find out though. But what we've got right now, if we come down here, is half of one of these a second. And on the other side, we have half of a cargo pod per second. So you have half of the fuel tank a second and half of the cargo pod a second. That's not awful. We make do with that. It's a lot better. I mean, right now, let's see. I have the one setup up here, and this place is a mess. I have to redo a lot of things here. So let's see. Right now, I'm not even making 1.5 a second. So it's going to be more than 3 times the output down there, and I can speed it up if I can afford the inputs down here, because I need to start making cargo rocket sections like it's going out of style. I need to have them just massively backed up, ready to go, because I'm going to start launching rockets on a more regular basis. That's what I want to use as my delivery system, so that's what I need. So let's look at this. Uses 1 red a second, 1 pipe, half of a pump a second, and half of a tank a second. So we're making plenty of pumps. That's not a problem. Making plenty of tanks. That's not a problem. Let's look at this. 13 pipes. Okay, so it looks like we could definitely speed these up. And we have 10 chests a second. So that's not an issue because we're using 2 a second right here. 3 still a second. None of this is an issue. We can absolutely ramp this up to go faster. Now, I don't think you can put productivity modules. No, you cannot. So that makes sense. This is a intermediate product. It's not a well, this is an item in its own. You can put the cargo pod down. You know, it's, I can't remember the exact rules for how that works, but this is something that you can't use production modules on. I could use efficiency modules in the machine and then use speed modules in the beacons, but we may not even need beacons. Yeah, so this is much better. This is 1.3 per second. And it should be roughly the same when we come down through here. 1.3 a second. Now we're working with something there. So the other question is, for the cargo rocket sections, we also need 4 rocket control units, 4 low density structures, and 4 heat shielding. So we need to look at our production lines of each of those products and see if we are even capable of producing that. So if we come down through here, no. So right now we're producing 2.9 low density units. So if I were to just easy math, say I wanted to make 1 cargo rocket section a second, I would need 4 of these a second, and I'm only getting 2.9. So I don't even need that sped up production for the cargo rocket sections or the fuel tanks because I can't supply the other resources. And this one will be hard because it requires such a large amount of inputs. I can't just extend this a whole lot more because I'm not going to be able to supply enough of the inputs to that. I could build a secondary line, and we may look into doing that. What do we have here? So this one we're already getting 3.25, and I could definitely afford these inputs. We could stretch this one out just a bit more to get to our 4 per second here on our rocket control units, but the low density structures would definitely take some looking at. So what are we doing for the heat shielding? Okay, so we're already making more than enough heat shielding. The only thing I would say about that is I know that we're using the heat shielding for multiple different recipes. So we're going to, I shouldn't say we're going to, we may run into an issue where when we start running that, we don't have enough dedicated production for the cargo rocket sections because we're also going to be taking that for other resources. And that's actually honestly true for both of these low density structures and rocket control units as well. I am using those in other areas. So there's no need to ramp up production of the cargo rocket pods and sections, fuel tanks and cargo pods down here too much. We'll leave it like that. I'll leave it turned up. We won't even be using the full speed of it, and that's okay. What I need to do is take this output line with those 2 and bring in the other resources, probably with robots, to a production line that I can produce the cargo rocket sections in. And another thing, I'm curious. I'd like to know if y'all guys want to go in the comment section and tell me how you would set up something like this. I'm going to have a big field of cargo rocket silos, each with a dedicated resource. And I've got to fuel each of them, and I have to get cargo rocket sections to each of them and cargo pods. And I'm going to be launching them into space, right? And then it disassembles the rocket there at the landing pad, as long as it lands on the landing pad successfully, which it will. It's like 98% of the time or 99% of the time. It's really high. There's a really good chance of that, so it's not a big deal. But what I'm going to do is have to bring those cargo rocket sections, the cargo pods, and the... what is that item called? This. Space capsule. I was trying to think what that is. On the end, the pod, the space capsules have to be brought back to the surface as well, which I can probably, simply set up a rocket that fills up with those items, and once it reaches full cargo, comes back to the surface and lands at a landing pad and unloads all of those items to be reused and reprocessed, which is probably a really good idea to do for that. But I'm going to need to set up an area with lots and lots of cargo rockets, rocket silos. And I'm looking around. This is all going to be changed. Essentially, right now, this does a lot of things that I'm not going to have it doing later. So we're going to be moving production of circuits to a modular build like I've done with the plate. I can better use the space here for a mall-like structure. So I don't want to build right out here in this kind of open space anymore, because I'm going to be redesigning this area. I should probably look for an area maybe out here that I can more permanently place a field for launching rockets into space. Or maybe I just come much further out and have it, because it is going to be fed primarily from this line. So that sounds like a good idea. I just need to come further out and clear trees and build that area. But right now I want to look specifically for the resources that I need to get into space for better automating what we have currently. So if I go up there and I look, because I'm going to be expanding my space science, my energy science in space, I need to look at what are the things that I need. I need stone. I need lots of different resources. Green circuits, red circuits. I need the the rough data substrates, all being sent up here regularly in rockets. So I have been working on expanding the production. Oh, that is not the right button. The production of our space platform scaffolding, and I've already taken a whole bunch up, but I think what I'm probably going to do is turn this back on right over here and getting even more, because I'm going to need a large amount of space in space. And this is how I achieve that right now, this scaffolding. Later I'll be able to replace some of that with the plating, which actually, what do I need to get into that plating? Let's search for it. So it takes a scaffolding, a little bit of more steel, and then heavy girders, which I have not even made yet, and material science packs. So we've got to get into material science packs as well. And the material science packs, material require iridium, which I have not even got yet, and then setting up the material catalog and material insight, which takes a whole slew of things. Material testing packs, what is that? Plasma stream, lubricant, which I've already got. I need to set up each of the fluids going up there automatically. See, this one also takes lubricant, takes concrete, and some material testing packs. All right, okay, so none of that's super hard or anything crazy like that. Also need to look into changing to one of these, the simulations. Let's look that up. Hold on, because it gives you a better simulations. Yeah, so if you run, let's say I already have energy and I'm looking at getting material. So here we go. This one would use energy science packs and material science packs, or energy insights and material insights, in order to produce significant data. And it produces it at a better rate. So you'll see you get 6 significant data. It takes the 18 energy insights, 18 material insights. So right now, for the significant data, let's see. I'm doing energy catalog 1. I'm getting this 36 gives me 4. So I'll still be using 36 insights. It'll just be 18 energy, 18 material, but I'll be getting 6 significant data from that. So you get the significant data cards faster, which you need in order to progress. So I'll have to look at revamping the processing of all of that. So what I'm looking at now is, let's get some stuff into space. And also, another quick good question is, do I have a 0 threat planet that's rich in iridium? I think I looked at this before. Right here, right? Iridite, or I say iridium, but iridite, which is processed into iridium. We're going to go to Forge Hammer and look around there in order to get stuff set up. And actually, we should probably do this right now. We should probably go ahead, get there, and start processing that resource. So I need to look at how do we do that. It's probably going to be very similar to what I was doing before. Whoa. What is this? Okay, weird stuff's going on. That's it's because I'm still in the map view. Okay. So let's change this. Where was Forge Hammer? This is in orbit around Silverhorn orbit, Forge Hammer. This is a moon. Alright, so I'm going to go here and look around. Here we go. Forge Hammer, general vicinity, because we don't have anything there. So we're going to need to pack a care package, right? We're going to need what we want to get started on a base. So let's turn off our logistics, place down a warehouse, empty our inventory. There's a warehouse. I am going to keep my fuel for my jetpacks. Alright, we know that we're going to need all of these items for a nuclear facility. And we have to hope. See, here's the thing. I need to bring extras. And I'm almost considering just loading up enough for 2. 2 nuclear reactors there. How much space does that take up in here? 111 out of 500. I don't know if I want to take 2. Now that I'm thinking about it. Taking twice as much is going to take up a lot of space. We also need to bring all of the fuel that we're going to need. So let's look. If you throw some fuel in there, 159 of 500. I mean, I can carry a lot of stuff on myself for building the factory that we're going to build there. We're going to need some solar energy to begin with, so I can get down some robo ports. So let's do a little something like this. And I don't want that extra 2 or 3. There we go. We'll put that back. Whoa, wait a minute. What did I just do? I grabbed what was there to add onto that little stack. Going crazy over here. Okay, and then I'm going to need robo ports and robots to get things started on that planet. There we go. Lots of robots. Now, if I throw all of this into the rocket, how much more space am I going to have now? Alright, so we're at 267 of 500. You know what? We'll just grab everything that's already in here. It's not twice of what I need to make the nuclear setup, but that's good because I don't need twice as much. So I'm also going to want to bring cargo rocket sections to get back, and I already had stuff in order to make like oil refineries, fuel refineries. Yes, oil refineries, fuel refineries, chemical plants, so I can set up fuel processing there in order to make it back here. But I'm probably going to want a little bit more. So let's see. What do we have here? This is all, here we go, chemical plants. That's definitely going to help. I probably don't need that many. Let's put a few of those back. And then I won't use electric furnaces. I'll use the industrial furnaces. I don't think I need anything else from in here. I'm just worried about not being able to make fuel fast enough. So we're probably going to, let's request a few fuel refineries and oil refineries to add to this. And by a few, I mean something like we'll do 40. That's way too many. But I'm expecting loss because I don't have a landing pad there yet. Oh, speaking of, that's also definitely something that I want to grab and make sure I don't end up stranded there having to build an entire factory from scratch again, so I have to build a rocket. That's probably not going to be an exciting thing. Alright, but that's going to be the plan. This is getting to be a bit long here, so I think this is going to be where I cut and end this episode. If you enjoyed it, I really do appreciate it if you hit that like button down there, and if you leave a comment and tell me, like I said, you know, what's a good idea you have for setting things up, you know, what's a good setup, because you need room to send signals to these, you need room to load the resources, and you got to load the fuel here at these little ports, and there's ports on the side right there where that is, so I could sneak fuel probably in between two of them or something, you know. But what's a good layout? What do you like? What have you done in the past? I know also that we're going to get to making spaceships, actual built structures that can take off and travel between the surfaces, the different planets and moons and orbits. And I do want to get to that, and I think actually I'm going to need to get into the blue science, the astronomic science as well. But again, I need to really ramp up my space base before I can start doing that. So if you have enjoyed it, I really do appreciate you hitting the like button. If you consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content like this, I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you all next time.